And we are live. I am here with the panel that was promised, or is it the live stream that was promised, with Gemma, Ideas of Ice and Fire, George Sartiano, Con Snow, and Aziz. Also, Lucifer means Lightbringer will be joining us. But, you know, I think everybody should introduce themselves. All of us are at Con of Thrones, and I think we should start with the only lady on the panel, Gemma.
Hi, you know me. Yeah, I'm Gemma, Secrets of the Citadel. I'm already pretty wasted. Happy name day, Quinn.
Happy name day, Quinn. And I think the second... Happy name day, Quinn. By the way, everyone, it is Quinn's birthday today. So we're going to introduce him second. Quinn from Ideas of Ice and Fire. First time on the channel. Super excited to have you today, man. What's up?
A lot of fun. A little drunk. Turning 56 today. And I'm just kidding. I'm 24. But yeah, gotta be a lot of fun. And I'm Quinn from Ideas of Ice and Fire. And yeah, I hope I don't say anything too crazy on this stream.
Well, we're already demonetized, Quinn, so it's all good. We're good to go. Next, we have George Sartiano. You guys may know him as Old Jeezy or Young Jeezy. We give him a bunch of nicknames. George, what's going on, my man?
Oh, you know, just doing my regular thing out here in Cali.
You're surviving. Are you okay, man? You sound really tired.
I am. I'm old, man. It takes me a couple of more days to recover from a con than you little whippersnappers.
And speaking of cons, we have Con Snow, my personal MVP of Con of Thrones 2018. You should see this guy in person, man. Like I mean, look at the scene we filmed together. That chemistry. I mean, he is hot. So, Zach.
Hi. I'm Zach. I go by Con Snow, con.snow on Instagram. And you kind of just added me to this. So what's up?
And there's Zach. And then, of course, you know, I like to call him the godfather of the Song of Ice and Fire in the Game of Thrones community. We have Aziz.
You know how I like to bring up the rear.
No, you're coming up the rear.
No, I just bring it up like I raised the issue of the rear. Like, let's discuss the rear, the end. Yeah, hey everybody. I'm not drinking, but it sounds like I have been, I think. So happy birthday, Quinn, and thanks for having me on. It's definitely fun to have a little post-con party here, doing the way we do on a live stream. Right on.
Yeah, for sure. And David LML, he's having some technical difficulties with his one computer, so he's getting his backup, and that's dedication. We all love David. But right. You know, I don't know. What should we talk about first? I mean, Zach, let's start with you, man. You're all our guests here. You know, you do the Instagram thing. How long have you been doing this for? This whole Con Snow thing, because you're slaying, man. Everybody absolutely loves you.
Thank you. Who the hell's we? I started in 2014, I believe. My friends were making fun of me since 2013. I finally grew the hair out and got the confidence enough for it. I'll give you some pictures too. But I
don't think you want to do that. But yes, go ahead.
It was a Halloween. It was a Halloween joke to go as Jon Snow to this deal, and like people just came up to me and were like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" I put it up on Reddit, and it just went overboard. I think I got like 3,000 to 4,000 upvotes on that, and I was like, okay, I need to start doing this. This is fun. So I just kept watching the show, kept being in character, kept doing the thing, and it just kind of evolved into what it is. But I didn't start going to cons until 2015. My first con was Wizard World 2015 in Sacramento.
So ever since then, you've been you're like, wow, like, you know, the reception that I got, I should continue doing this.
Yeah, and it's not for me, it's for the fans, like I keep telling everybody. But it's really cool to see everybody's reaction, and it's really cool to get everybody to freak out and have a good time. And I always smile and take a picture. And well, I don't really smile when I take pictures, but, you know, hang out.
I just like watching people just like watching people's reactions to you, just like following around and being like, okay,
it's pretty cool.
People like, look at that. And it's like the faces, they just like double take, and it's a spectacle in and of itself, just the people reactions. We need, one of my ideas was, we talked about trying to get you down to Dragon Con. Because there's so many thousands of people down there, you know, they might crack 80,000 this year. That's a lot of reactions to see.
Like, yeah, in California, it started to become seeing the same people over and over from last year, and it's good to catch up with them and all that. But going to a new venue every year is really fun because that's where you start to go from the bottom up.
Yeah. And I mean, like we were talking about Dragon Con, me and George are going to be headed out to Dragon Con. So, like I said, we already invited you to come stay with us. So don't think you're not invited, man. We would love to have you out there. Ideas of Ice and Fire. I got to check out a couple of your panels briefly this weekend. You know how busy we all were. Things were kind of overlapping. You know, we all had panels at the same time. What was kind of the highlight of the weekend for you? Because this was your first Con of Thrones, right?
Yes, it was. I guess I don't know if I can pick one specific highlight. I just really enjoyed meeting everybody. It was a lot of fun. That after party on Saturday was pretty fun, actually, in your room. So that was pretty great. Just meeting all the followers of my channel and just getting to talk to people and meet all the other YouTubers. It was great because I tend to be a very shy person. So it's like when you come somewhere and you feel like everyone already knows you, it kind of helps. So I'm just not as shy, I guess. So yeah. Just meeting everyone.
Which is surprising because after having conversations with Quinn, he's like the most chill dude I've ever met. So it's like, how could this guy be shy? Yeah, it's really hard to explain unless you meet Quinn in person. Like, he's super laid back. But that's sweet, man. So you had an absolute blast then. I mean, you're still in Dallas chilling with your friends right now. You said you've been drinking since 12. Sorry to announce it to everyone, but
I've been drinking since before 12. And I'm in San Angelo right now, which is about 3 or 4 hours from Dallas. But yeah, I'm hanging out with some friends. We're on a military base right now, actually, because my friends in the military. And yeah, I woke up this morning, and the first thing I did was took the horn that my buddies got from Con of Thrones, filled it up with Moscato, and started sipping it.
Moscato, that's a joke, right?
No, he's not joking. That's his favorite, actually.
Love Moscato.
Oh, dude, Riesling is so much better.
Oh God, we're gonna have a wine war on the panel today. Also, what I would like to do is if we can get a little happy birthday, some heart and fire emojis, some height and love in the chat for Quinn, that'd be awesome. And also, in case any of you haven't checked out his channel, in the description of these video, all the panelists, all the links to their channels to go subscribe to their channels are in the description of this video. Who wants to go next? I see a couple other people here. I mean, we got Aziz and Gemma and George. Who wants to take over the panel while I drink?
Well, why does someone need to take it over? Drinking is a totally wonderful spectator event for everybody, I'm sure.
I mean, Aziz, you had so much going on this weekend, man. Like, I mean, it must be hard for you to find the time to fit everything in a weekend. Obviously, you had some an amazing interview with Miltos on main stage. I got to check the end of that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, sure. Yeah. The thing is I definitely did. I think I did the most panels this year. I definitely did the most last year. But the thing is, a lot of these panels are things I have, topics I've delved pretty deep into already. So it's kind of just like I need to find a shorter version of it to bring. But one of the exceptions is with an interview like that. We hadn't done an interview at all, really. So let alone, one on a stage, in front of people. But we did the same thing we always do. We just did research. So we watched old interviews of Miltos and saw what he liked, saw what kind of questions he responded to, and saw what he liked talking about, and saw what people didn't ask, right? Like we looked for, okay, no one's ever asked him this or that, and follow-up questions to things that he had answered before. So that kind of thing. And that worked out really well. He liked our questions. I think the audience liked our questions. But to be honest, we could have just asked him anything. That guy really is just energetic and outgoing. I've been making the same joke all weekend. I said, we could have just said, hey, Miltos, so purple. And that would be all we need, because he would go with that. He could just talk and be like, yes, purple's a great color because, well, one time I had to wear purple for this, and he would make it fun. So that made it easy. For our first interview, it was like, couldn't have had a better subject to kind of.
I'll chime in about Miltos actually. While I was on stage, he came up to me. I was doing a thing at the Oprahland last year at Con of Thrones, and he comes up to me and he goes, "This is fantastic! Oh my God, this is fantastic!" And I was like, "Thank you." And his handler was like, "Come on, dude, we gotta go." And they took him and left. He was gone. And I went back to his booth, and he was telling me about how he how he's from the small place in Europe. He's only got a villager. It's like a village status almost. There's only like I think there's like less than 1,000 people in this place, but he got a bunch of season 1 memorabilia and was just passing it out passing out the DVD set, and everyone in his village. He became like really popular in his village, and they were asking him like, okay, when do we get season 2? He's like, well, I'm done there. They were like, they killed you there. So everyone was. He just became this big deal. Actually, at this Con of Thrones, I saw him briefly, and he hugged me, like legit hugged me, and was like, "It's so good to see you here." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you." Really nice.
So charismatic. I don't know if they're. I mean, like, and he's so energetic when he speaks. Like Aziz was saying, like he is just that charismatic naturally. Like he does plays and all sorts of stuff. He must absolutely just crush them because he's just that talented.
It must be. You got to be really like that to be on. You know, because some people it's like they can turn that on. He seems like he's just like that all the time. It's just he's naturally like that rather than, you know, someone has like a game face that they have on all the time. I think he's just like that, which is really, really cool. That's got to be rare to have that kind of energy.
We got to interact with him last year, George, and he was a really, really nice guy, obviously. But every time we've had an interaction with him, he was, you know, just above and beyond. Like, you know, he like answered extra questions and stuff like that. He was just really cool.
Lucifer means Lightbringer is in the building.
Oh.
Is he the most handsome man on this panel? Like I'm obviously not, but is David is the question. I mean, David Conn Snow. And they're beside each other. Like that's competition.
Well, Quinn's not on camera, but he's a pretty sharp looking fellow too. So
also
Yeah,
true.
I was gonna say that would be
Sorry,
me.
Quinn.
that would be me, Quinn's. All right, hey, Quinn's getting less shy by the minute.
I think this is
the part where he's been drinking since before noon.
Oh, I see. It's going to be that kind of live stream.
But David, you actually, George had some business callings to do during our Ragnarok panel, and David, Lucifer means Lightbringer. I always say David, my bad. LML jumped on our panel halfway through and started to crush the panel with us, right, Gemma? That was sweet.
Yeah, he slid in the back, and I thought, oh no, no, get your ass up. And he was like, oh well, if you insist, you know, couldn't have got up there faster, to be quite frank.
Well, I didn't want to leave y'all hanging or make it look bad or anything. I mean, you know, I was, truth be told, you know, I was honored and privileged, of course, to be recognized in the back. So I did what anyone would do and ran up there and said something about Ragnarok.
It was cool because, like, for the first couple of panels, it was all like very straight and sort of like to schedule, and by the end, it was just like people were crashing panels and people were wasted on panels. It was hilarious.
I would never do a panel anything less than sober myself.
Yeah, me too.
One thing I did want to say is you're seeing us all a couple of days after the con, and we're all much slower than we were a couple of days ago. I gotta say, like, our energy levels are definitely a lot lower than they were after the weekend.
I'd actually like to clarify that I was being sarcastic. Aziz is afraid to do a panel anything less than sober. I, however, would never consider doing a panel sober, so different approach.
David, since you just got in, can you kind of talk about your experience over the weekend? I know you're hanging out with everyone yesterday, but, like, you know, something that you like a small hidden moment, or something that really stood out to you that you didn't expect that happened for you this weekend.
Well, for me personally, you know, I'm a little bit, probably like a lot of us, I'm a little bit of an introvert, and I like burying my head in a project and working really hard on it. But I also love to be around my friends and love to be around people. But in the last, I guess, year or so, we've been sort of disengaging from the Bay Area. We're getting ready to move to a different area. And I really just had my head down with this project, and I haven't been socializing a whole lot. My wife has been working on her MBA for the last 2 years while she has a full-time job. So she's done nothing but, like, eat, sleep, and work. And I've adopted that same sort of mindset and just been grinding it out. And of course, my doing mythical astronomy is also kind of my recreation. so I don't feel too like emotionally out of balance. I'm just working really hard on something that's fun. But long story short, I've kind of been a shut-in. And so coming to Con of Thrones, I guess everyone that was there that ran into me, you know, saw that I'm pretty outgoing. You know, I'm jumping up on couches and doing crazy shit and crashing conversations and just introducing myself to Jon Snow, or Con Snow, I guess I would say. You know,
that's even better. That's even better, Zach. You are Jon Snow. There you go.
In fact, I'll tell that story. I've been looking at the guy, you know, for 2 days, going, motherfucker, that guy looks a lot like Jon Snow, like everyone else. And so one point in the bar, I saw him and I just walked up to him and I just said, "At what point did you realize?" And he looks at me and he tells the story. Basically, his friends punked him during the first season. He hadn't been watching, was unaware of the likeness. All his friends were texting him, you know, King in the North stuff, and he didn't know what they were talking about. So they have him over to watch the episode, and they're giggling on the couch, and he's like, "I don't understand what's so funny. Everything's bad in this show." And then, of course, Jon Snow finally comes on the screen, and everyone's laughing pretty hard. And I guess now he's come full circle and embraced it, so that's good. How was that? Did I tell the story well?
Yeah,
that was actually good. I mean, probably Gemma could hear it too, because Gemma heard the same story like 8-9 times.
At least.
By the way, I think I'm getting kicked off my podcast and replaced by Zach. I think Gemma likes Zach more than me now. They got along so well this week, and I'm like, I'm being replaced, I think. I gotta worry.
Another quick highlight was, so I guess just to finish what I was saying, you know, I think top highlight for everyone was the people, just hanging out with everybody. So for me, being a shut-in for a couple years, and then just getting a chance to hang out with all these people that I already kind of know, like Gemma and Aziz and Quinn, and getting to know other people like you, Kyle, and other people that I just met, and patrons, and Sandrixian. Shout out to Sandrixian right here with a t-shirt. Oh, yeah. You know, it just it feels more like a family now, and I think that's the best #1 takeaway from
it. Actually, really does, which is really nice, and like, thank you, man, for getting it all together.
You know, I'm noticing some people in the chat. J.R. Raleigh was hanging out with us. I got to meet Neil Anderson. Courtney Matzo was someone that hung out with us. Jacob Morris. I'm sure there's more of you too, but you know, there's. I mean, I'm sure Aziz, you met some of your patrons and viewers of the channel that, you know, you've connected with, and same with you.
Absolutely.
And Quinn, you said you got to do that a little bit too over the weekend.
Sorry.
Quinn is absolutely wasted. By the way, everyone, if Quinn passes out, it's not my fault. I apologize for that. But you said you got to meet some of your patrons and some of your subscribers, and that was kind of like one of your highlights.
Yeah, it was really great meeting everyone. Yeah, it was like really fun. You know, putting faces to all of like the names and stuff. Sandrixian was really great. I got to meet her and hang out with her a lot, and that was a lot of fun meeting her. She was really nice.
Oh, people are saying I'm going to be sacrificed at Ice and Fire Con. I'm not liking where this is going. Oh God, that sucks. I think I agreed to have beers, and it turned out to be me getting sacrificed at Ice and Fire Con.
That's gonna happen over there. Apparently, that's a really cool show. I've wanted to go, but I haven't had the time or resources to go.
Aziz can kind of speak about that because you went for a couple of years now, right, Aziz?
Yeah, I've been to the last 2. I believe it's there. That was either the 4th or 5th year that they've done it, and it was the biggest they've ever had it, which was 250 people. So it's a real small, concentrated group of super fans. So it's really great. It's cheaper than Con of Thrones would be. They don't have celebrity guests. It's a lot more book focused. It's pretty much almost entirely book focused, but there's certainly some show stuff. Like we watched the end of the con, kind of the late Sunday event, when most people have left, was to watch 3 episodes that people had voted on ahead of time. And it also is nice because it doesn't have the panel overlap issue too much. You can kind of check out all the panels. There's not as great a selection, obviously, but you also never run into the case where, oh, I want to see this one, and then this is at the same time as some other one. So you get to kind of have a more leisurely panel schedule and see them all with and then some of the fun things you can do with a small group, like the Faceless Man game, where there's a weekend-long competition going where they publish a dossier for anyone who's playing, and you have like a target that you have to get them with a spoon. And
that's cool.
There's just great story of Shire and a long battle she had with another con goer that was involved some running around and some hand pushing, because this one guy, his guy was really tall. He was like 6'11", so he could just like hold,
6'11". Oh my goodness.
So and we had a friend that was really stoking the embers and telling people who their targets were and getting people all mixed up and having fun like that. So little things you can do with a smaller group are the kind of things that go down there. They have it in Ohio this next year at Deer Creek State Park, which is a real nice spot, kind of remote. Got a few fly to Columbus, Ohio.
Renaissance, I've heard. It's like open field, which is really nice. Like not Con of Thrones, like inside of a deal. You actually get the wilderness. You kind of get a little bit of Western.
Absolutely, there was some. There really were. We saw deer several times. People have cabins for rent. We did bonfires every night.
Woodchucks and cats.
Oh, that's awesome.
There were woodchucks and cats and ducks.
Yeah, in the background. By the way, she was the one who filmed the boat sex, everyone.
That's right. There she is. And also, for example, we did. I forgot. Well, we did a lot of small things, like our karaoke was in a small room, sort of that big auditorium, which I think is better if you want that in a smaller space. But not to diss Con of Thrones' karaoke, because it was great, but I think it's definitely better to be.
I'd heard different. There was a lot of people.
Let me
Kyle does have some dissings for the karaoke. Excuse me.
There was 0 Queen songs. There was no Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and I'm not even going to continue with the list. I punted. Actually, you want to know a true story? I punted my hat, and you know who it landed on? Sue the Fury, one of the organizers of the event. I was walking through the thing, and I punted the hat, and it landed on her. But she was laughing. Funny enough, she knew my displeasure. Yeah, I have to disagree with the karaoke. I mean, it looked fun, but the songs for me were just.
There were some people who made it good, but yeah, I think the song selection could have been better.
Pete Easy, our buddy Pete Easy from Atlanta was the one who kicked it off.
He went up first and got it kicked off. That was a highlight for sure.
She mentioned it is wacky on the bonus.
And there was Mr. Brightside. Somebody sang a really good rendition of Mr. Brightside. It was awesome.
Mr. Brightside, okay.
And then
at Ice Firecon, we saw 5 ladies dressed as this Raki singing the "On a Boat" song by Lonely Island.
I'm on a boat. Okay, that's cool.
5. They were all pretty drunk. It was great.
George, most of you know George. He supports me and Gemma, and he tries to get on streams as much as he can. Now he's hired by the evil empire Google, so he's going to be pretty busy. I think he's starting it with Skynet. He's in the AI division with Skynet. He's starting the end of the world. But George, you've been going to cons for quite some time now. You're a little more experienced than us. Can you kind of tell us about like your experience with the Con of Thrones? Because you've worked in Hollywood on movies and whatnot. So you kind of tell us like the con experience for you.
Con of Thrones has come a long way. I mean, it's only 2 years old, and let's give Mischief a hand for what they've put together in such a short amount of time. The number of panels I think it doubled over last year. The number of guests continues to improve, and I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the reason we don't see some of the bigger name actors at this one isn't because they won't go to a smaller con, but they're still under all sorts of confidentiality agreements and
non-disclosure.
So they, if they came to this and said the route out, I mean, they would be in a hell of a lot of trouble. So I really think that this con.
How's it going? I heard you got the script. Interested in smoking some high quality Cuban cigars?
Demonetized. Yeah.
So I think next year, once the show's over, I think we're gonna have an explosion of new actors showing up, people who we all want to meet in person, and we get the chance to see them at different cons around. But those panels, the celebrity panels and everything next year, I think are just gonna be off the hook.
Well, there's also the rumor, George, that Con of Thrones is going to be after episode 3 of season number 8, which is rumored to be the Battle of Winterfell. So apparently they want to do it during the middle of the season and then have a giant watch together on the Sunday night. Because a lot of people leave on this, some people leave on the Sunday right after Con of Thrones. They don't leave on the Monday because they have to fly out to their jobs on Monday and whatnot. You know what I mean? So there's a rumor that it might actually be during the season. Which
Yeah,
last year, remember, it wasn't on the 3-day weekend last year. It was in the middle of July.
Yeah, I know. So that's kind of a little bit
Remember?
different, right? Well,
Yeah, so it was a 2-day weekend.
so Aziz, you had something to say, my friend?
Oh, I was just agreeing with that. Yeah, that I heard the same thing, that they might try to do it during the season. But it's going to be tricky because no one knows when the season is just yet. And
that's what they're waiting for.
You know, it does also make it kind of difficult for, you know, so many people who are there are covering Game of Thrones seriously. So traveling during that is kind of tricky. I'm not sure that's so great. So it might be, I think it would, ideally, I think it would be like right before, because the hype is there. The season's about to hit. People will be very excited. If it kind of hit right before it, that'd be pretty awesome. Or right after, you know. But I think during would be fun.
Again,
watching the episode together would be fun, but I think that it also causes some problems.
If it's done right before, you know, a lot of the stuff we just won't be able to talk about. Those confidentiality agreements will still be in place.
That's true.
You know, they really during or right after. You know, and that's just the major consideration, because this is con number 3, and if we want it to continue to grow and with the love that we have for it and everyone else to come, we really need to do the best we can. And the only way we're going to do that is if we can actually talk about what happened on the show. That would be 2 cons essentially in a row that were done with no new material, because the book's not going to come out between now and then, right?
Oh, don't hurt my girl.
Yeah, so you're right. We shouldn't do it before, I suppose. After or during. Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, everyone, King McKay is in the chat from New Zealand. He actually came to Con of Thrones. I don't even want to tell you how much his flight cost just to come chill with us at Con of Thrones, but we all had the pleasure of meeting him, and him and his brother Pete were just what I like to call Gucci. They're awesome. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking because I'm just in awe of these. I'm muting myself. Somebody's taking over. Later, guys. I'm just going to be drinking while you guys talk.
So how about those Lakers?
I'm back to taking over the stream. That's enough.
you realize that 2 of the people in the stream are from San Jose, right? Or LML, you actually are over closer to where the Warriors play, right?
Yeah, I live in Hayward, which is like maybe 10 minutes from the Coliseum. I drive by there all the time. Use the Coliseum BART station. Well familiar with that. Oh, Dubs.
Anybody but LeBron. I won't even get into that. Like he just gets fouled every play, so I can't watch him play.
All right, let's not kill people with sports ball, though.
But I do love basketball, even though I'm Canadian. People ask me, "Oh, you know what basketball is?" And I say, "Yes, I do know what basketball is."
Isn't there a basketball? Isn't there a court at Casterly Rock? Isn't that one of the things they got down in there? Down with the oubliettes and the other torture devices.
So, hey, have we discussed Kyle's interview with Esme yet here? Because I watched it earlier today, and it was really amazing. Kyle, I have to compliment you on your interviewing skills. Has that come up yet, or what?
I put the Esme one up yesterday, and I put I'm putting the Serial one up for tomorrow, and then we have one with Shay. But yeah, you know, that was I was nervous. You know, funny story. I'll tell you guys a story. Me and George had our first interview with Shay on the Friday, and all of our camera equipment wasn't working. So you only get 10 minutes for a one-on-one interview. And I was stressed out. And Shay and Sibel goes, "Kyle, you're stressed," and she starts petting me. And then I think George said, "Kyle, I think Kyle's life is complete." And I said, "Yes, sir, I think so." And her fiance was like sitting there. We have a 360 camera for that one, so you can kind of see everyone's reactions. But our cameras weren't working. But yeah, it was a blast, George. Like interviewing Esme and Sibel and Miltos. We got Paula too, I think. Paula. So really, really lucky to be considered for that. Obviously, thank you to Mischief Management and Watchers for letting us get some one-on-one time. But yeah, as the Esme interview, she's so beautiful in person too, but like her personality is even more beautiful for anyone that doesn't know her. She was so
small. She was tiny.
She's tall though. She's tall though, but she's tiny. Yeah. She's stunning. Like you think she's beautiful on the show. In person, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. But we'll just leave it at that. Say that again.
I thought she was much more attractive in person than she was. I think they downplayed her on the show. I think they took off her makeup, dirtied her up a little bit so that she looked scene appropriate. But in person, she just was able to glow, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Gemma, I mean, you came all the way over from UK. You know, me and you had talked about it for months, and I actually had to convince Gemma to come. Obviously, it's a financial a thing for her. You know what I mean? She has Gemma. For those of you that don't know, Gemma does have a family, so she has considerations to make first with that. But convincing Gemma to come, you know, and then you told me after the weekend, Gemma, that it was totally worth coming. So can you kind of talk about, you know, everybody loves Gemma. So can you kind of talk about how much fun you had over the weekend?
How much fun? A lot. Yeah, it's yeah, like you said, I do have a family, so like my life's pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm normally like tucked up in bed by 10 o'clock at night, and my kids are going, "What are you gonna have a drink, mummy?" And I said, "God, before you kids came into my life, you have no idea." So I kind of went back to that just for 2 or 3 days of my life, you know, where I could kind of go back to being somebody that stayed up till 6 a.m. drinking vodka shots and what have you. I mean, the rest of the panel was great, but it's just partying with you guys was actually an absolute blast. It was awesome. There's so many people in the chat right now that I know, that I've met, that I partied with, that we went out for meals together. And that was so awesome. Yeah, Courtney's there. We went out for an amazing vegan birthday meal, and they made me a lemon cake for hashtag Sansa Forever, Talmaska Dan. JR's in the chat as well. Jacob Morris, I was sat next to him in one of the panels. That was pretty awesome. Loads of people in the chat. Purple, I can't see what Smoker Hunters. Yeah, just basically sort of like putting all of those faces to all the names that I see all the time. Yeah, but the flight was hell on earth. I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely brutal. I got frisked in 3 separate airports. I knew I shouldn't have worn an Iron Maiden t-shirt.
She shows up with a pink suitcase and an Iron Maiden t-shirt. I'm like, well, this is Gemma. Quinn, are you still alive, my friend?
Yes, I am still alive. I am here.
On a scale of 1 to Dracarys, how buzzed would you say you are right now?
Shut up.
Is that someone in the background trying to answer for you?
Yeah, my friend. I say I'm like approaching Dracarys right now. I've had quite a few.
What panels did you have on the weekend again, Quinn? It was so hard for me to keep up. Can you kind of talk about that?
The Nature Cycle with LML and Amanda from Crowfoot Starter. I had the Dragon Ascendant, which was a lot of fun. And what were the other ones? I had Subverting the Seven. LML was also on that one. And then the other one was The Children and the Others and Beyond, which was my favorite panel that I was on, I think, because we got to talk about the Children of the Forest and the Others, and I got to like talk about all my crazy ideas. The Daenerys one was fun too, because I got to give my whole spiel about Daenerys being a living myth and like talk about how I love Daenerys, but whatever. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to catching that one. That was one of the ones I was sorry to miss.
I'm pretty sure Ahype, but Sir Hunt's filmed the entire thing, and I think he said he was going to put it up on his channel. So.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, that's one of the things that actually makes being involved at the level that all of us sitting here and hosting this is that a panel or something gets scheduled at the same time as something that you personally really want to do. And what everyone has to realize is we really have no control over what the scheduling is like. You know, we really can't even put in suggestions. So we get, you know, if Aziz is doing a panel I really want to see at the same time, I have to do mine. I miss out. So for us, the only way we can pick up on some of that is to actually be able to watch the recordings later. But as a lot of y'all know, it's just not the same. So, you know, I mean, be aware that for us, as cool and interesting as some of that is, we also don't have necessarily the same opportunities as a regular con goer to make some choices about what we're doing at a con like this.
It is true. You know, I got to check out 2 panels in full or something like that. Obviously, you know, you make that sacrifice to talk on the panels and do some of the other things we were doing. Like, you know, we made the promise to try to get you some private interviews and stuff like that. But it is true. It's like, you know, I think back over the weekend, and you obviously think about things that you could have done. You know, I was like, damn, I really wish I could have checked out, you know, LML's nature cycle panel, or, you know, Aziz's Blackfire panel. So yeah, it is hard to go to everything. And, you know,
I was really while we were doing the YouTube panel, which was amazing, by the way. I loved that panel so much. But there was a part of me that was thinking, if I just slipped out now into the cast panel that's across the way, I'm sure no one would notice, right? I thought probably best that I don't. But I was the same. I kind of dipped in for 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and then I would be running off for interviews and my own panels and things. So yeah, I am catching up on them all on YouTube right now, which is great. So keep posting them, guys, because I'm watching them all.
By the way, I did invite Tony Teflon to come on with us tonight. He apologizes that he couldn't be here. He is working, so hopefully I did talk to Tony. He's actually going to come on the podcast with me and Gemma sometime. You know, Tony, he really took over that panel, and he really did everyone justice on that. Tony was absolutely fantastic on that. So props to Tony. Also sent one to Sir Hunts. I'm not sure what's up with that, but we'll talk with Sir Hunts too. I know you guys did a thing yesterday, but props to those guys as well. You know, we got to chat a little bit. We tried to get 10 people in total for this YouTube thing, but people have responsibilities and work, and now that we're all away from the con, we have stuff to do in our lives, right? So
hey Kyle, I there was a moment at the con that I can really only relate to you in song. And so I've got my bass guitar here, and I'll just adjust the camera a little bit, and I'm going to serenade you here, okay? So just give me a second. If I don't get it exactly right the first time, just bear with me. I think it'll be worth it.
I was going to say I have to go, but I'm definitely going to see this.
Oh, no, you're not.
Okay, so you stay for this. We're ready.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to take the headphones off because otherwise I think bad things will happen, but I'll come right back. So first, you gotta get a good little bass line going. And if you've got a loop sampler, you lay that down, then you've got to lay out a second layer, right? Here it comes.
I can't.
Start singing anytime.
What song is this again?
You can't tell by now?
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
Kind of a sloppy loop, but
you know the rules, and so do I. They didn't even have that song on karaoke.
He was so disappointed. You have no idea how disappointed he was about that.
Well, it actually threw a fit in our room because they didn't have it.
So it's getting harder and harder to rickroll people these days, So that was me reaching in my bag of tricks for you there.
I can't believe I didn't recognize it, everyone. Shame me in the chat, please.
It was a little sloppy, so probably not your fault. The timing was a little off, but...
Aziz, you said you have to go, my friend. I know we had
movie tickets. Got to roll out, but thanks for having me. Glad I got to stop in for a few minutes and say hey to everybody, and happy birthday again, Quinn.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So
thank you for joining us, and everybody go subscribe to Aziz's channel. You probably are already subscribed, so I don't need to tell you
all. Yes, I'll see you all again soon, every one of you.
See you later, Azizel.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was Aziz, everyone. Who's this? Oh, there's Aziz in his regular picture. He's muted, but he's leaving. Does everybody else still want to stay and deal with my crappy ass right
I'll have to
now?
leave in a little bit, but
well,
I'll stay for a bit longer.
Let's feature Quinn here. Let's feature Quinn a little bit because we haven't had him on the channel. Let's get a Game of Thrones.
Me. No, I'm kidding.
Game of Thrones season 8 prediction from you, Quinn.
Oh God.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. So I feel like this has nothing to do with the books or anything. So I feel like Daenerys is probably pregnant, and Daenerys and Jon Snow are gonna have a baby. And it's gonna be like, oh, I thought you couldn't have kids, and she's gonna be like, nope, psych, bitch, and she's gonna have a baby. I don't know. They're gonna defeat the Night King, and the Night King is gonna be like, oh, like I'm the Night King, and I want to kill everybody, and they're gonna burn him alive, and White Walkers are gonna melt and save the world happily ever after for 1,000 years, and yeah, fine.
I'm actually moist after that prediction. My loins yearn for more.
I mean, I don't know what could happen because I know that they're gonna just do a bunch of fan service. I don't want to be just super down on it, but I know that, like, I feel like maybe
only death, they've hinted so beautifully that only death can pay for life, and her dragon just died. So I mean, what's next?
Yeah, I feel like either Daenerys or Jon, one of those people might die, and I feel like probably it's gonna be Daenerys if it's one of the two because Jon Snow's already died. So yeah, so Daenerys is probably gonna take the L and die. And then she's probably going to have a child, and that'll be the Song of Ice and Fire, and then whoop-de-fucking-do.
We have got Carol Brown, Broke Black Man 94, and AU Pack Mule in the chat.
Phil, the Issues guy, was also in there
earlier.
I
didn't spot Phil.
What's up, Phil?
He's in Vegas or Nevada or something, and he was like, hey, everyone.
Hi, guys.
We also have... J.R. Rowley. I love J.R. I would kiss him.
I love J.R. Rowley.
I'm picturing Phil, the Issues guy, on the streets of Vegas with his wooden frog going. Krr, krr, krr.
He brought all of his props to the panel. Remember that? If you guys, I uploaded the Duos of Westeros today. He was doing his props like he would on a live stream. He was excellent. Gemma, we got to check out one of his panels. Actually, he was so good. He's just in his element when he's doing that.
Yeah. We were just about to do a panel with Phil, and I said, do you want to come up to the room and have a quick drink before we get going? So he had 4 drinks before we got going, and then took one for the road, which didn't make it past the hotel room door. So that was 5 in total. So yeah, we were pretty smashed for that last panel. It was the best one. We were so on point.
We got a couple of super chat donations earlier, but we were chatting. Thank you to John and I believe it was someone said, "Here's a toonie." Thank you for that. And we just got another one from Mandolin. But when Quinn has his next stream, we're gonna have to make a donation on his for a belated birthday gift or send him something cool. So thank you for that, Mandolin. We really appreciate it.
So Mandolin is somebody that I recruited to Twitter at the con, I believe, and she popped in today going, hey, LML, you recruited me on Twitter, so where's the action at? And I retweeted it and was like, hey, everyone, show her love. And it got like 30-some retweets and a whole bunch of follows, and everyone showed her a ton of love. So I just think that's like a great example of our community and how we do it,
Yeah, speaking of community, the YouTube panel was great. Tony brought everyone together, and we were all sitting down there, and then everybody got into it and kind of chatted. But just over the weekend, we were talking about the room party that we had, some of our patrons there, some of our viewers, people that we didn't even know and that we met. Gemma, we were talking about that earlier. The sense of community there, George, you left your bag somewhere and nobody took anything. I left my laptop there. It got returned to front desk. People, and then at the end ceremony, people were talking about how they lost the community there. Nobody literally, if you lost something, somebody brought something to front desk. That is how tight our community was.
Mm-hmm.
They are demanding an impression of Jon Snow from Con Snow in the chat.
Yes.
Con Snow, let's do it, buddy.
No pressure.
Well, let's give him a topic though. Let's make him work. Let's give him a topic. Okay, so Jon Snow is here. He's heard rumors about Euron Greyjoy, and he doesn't believe them. Go.
About who?
You're on Greyjoy. You're not impressed with pirates. You're on Greyjoy is nothing to you. Go.
I've been dealing with the Greyjoys before. I haven't seen anyone that's not really impressive.
That's pretty good.
If you guys start typing the Night's Watch oath in the chat, then he can read that. How about that? I've got it somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
You know, filming the boat sex scene with Zach, if you guys go and watch it, we had to retake that. I had to look in Zach's eyes and I laughed like 7 takes in a row. And everybody was in the room watching us. Courtney Matson was there. Like there was like 10 people watching it. J.R. Rowley, I think, was there too. People were watching us and they were laughing, and I was trying not to laugh. And this guy is a beautiful man, okay? It's really hard not to stare in his eyes and like be captivated, okay?
King McKay, thank you. Night gathers and now my watch begins. Go.
Go, Zach.
Night gathers and now my watch begins.
You gotta read the rest of it.
It shall not end until my death.
Oh! You put it in the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can't see the chat story.
Dang. Like everyone's like putting comments in, and I'm like trying to keep it up.
It shall not end until my death.
I want to hear
take
Jon.
my wife. Hold my lands.
I want to hear Jon Snow talk about squishers. Come on, man. Just ramble about squishers.
Well, actually, if you try the strawberry flavor, it's actually much better than the grape flavor. I don't really care for the swishes that are strawberry. I mean, the strawberry ones are the better ones. The grape ones, I couldn't do it.
Jon Snow, do you prefer blackberry vodka or do you prefer tequila?
Oh, any type of vodka is my favorite. I can't do anything else but with vodka.
And with vodka, do you take a chink off the wall and put it in your drink?
Well, you have to, don't you? It gives you that magical property.
Oh, Con Snow, they are calling you out for not knowing your vows. That is pretty outrageous, right?
Oh, they make you swear and swear.
That's why.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had a shame bell, I would totally do it right now. But I don't want to.
I'll do my homework.
Look, if you can't remember them, just say they make you swear and swear. Just say that. The Jamie line.
What they make? What?
It's Jamie's line about oaths. He just sort of rolls his eyes. He's like, "Oh, they make you swear and swear."
They make you swear and swear.
Oh shit! We have a donation from Karen Richmond, and she says, "I want John's reaction to being told he had boat sex with his aunt. That's what I want." So okay, so Con Snow, you've had ants in your pants, and go.
What? No. I don't believe she's my aunt. She didn't feel like my aunt. That was normal.
There's actually a video I have with my friend who did Kylo Ren, and it was like, "Where's the map?" That scene in The Last Jedi, and I gotta get that up for it. Like he's good. I showed Gemma that like 3 times. It was really funny.
I can't. And Zach would do this over the weekend too. Like he'd just be hanging out, like like we try to hang out normally and he'd be like, let's go into like at like 3 in the morning. He'd be like, Kyle. He'd like start doing like quotes and stuff. I'm like, dude, I can't handle you right now. Is Quinn still alive? I feel like it's been Quinn's birthday party, but it's like Con Snow show.
I'm alive. Like the dog keeps moving around and barking. It's like you having to mute the mic. She wants to.
Okay, so now I'm picturing a Theon like scene where like Quinn's unconscious in his own vomit and the dog's like licking him. Tell me it's not that bad. Tell me it's not that bad.
That might happen. So,
Quinn, will you be returning to Con of Thrones next year? You think?
Absolutely. I had so much fun at this con. I had no idea what to expect, but it was just such a great experience. That definitely planning on coming.
Quinn, tell everyone who it was that convinced you to go.
It was you. I was not gonna go, but he was like, "Yeah, you should come and like, you should come on these panels." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah.
And you did great.
By the way, LML, George was the one who convinced me to go to Con of Thrones last year. George, I love you. Is George there? Perhaps he is.
Probably.
And then I was the one that convinced Gemma. So it's like, it's this like copacetic thing where people are convincing each other to go, like, right? It's like,
yeah, I wasn't convinced it was going to be a good idea. I thought this is just going to be like a monumental waste of time. I know everything there is to know about Game of Thrones. I've seen all the pictures. It's a long way. It's a lot of money. But it was literally a life-changing experience. I can't express, like, if you didn't go to the next one. It is so worth it. That's 22-hour flight on the way home. Completely worth it.
Nancy T is someone we got to meet as well. She just made another donation in the super chat. You guys are way too generous, honestly.
No, seriously, thank you.
Yeah, it's just like, and it was JR Rowley earlier in the chat. He put hashtag postcon blues. And I think this is why we're all hanging out. We're trying to extend as much as we can to not feel like that, because we know at some point this week it's going to be like, damn, we're not all together.
It's already hit me pretty hard. Like, we were all hanging out at the floor, me, Gemma, George, and what was his? It was them basically. But
it was Aziz and Shire.
Yeah, Aziz, and after everybody left, they got on the Uber and left, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? But yeah, it was
What do I do now?
It is such a unique experience for those of you in chat who have never been to a Con of Thrones. I know some of you have been there. Just Chris was another person we got to chill with. Courtney, J.R. Rowley, Smokahontas, Purple Kitty was some. Priscilla was another one we got to chill out with as well. She came to Gemma's birthday dinner. Anyone that's in chat, if I know it's pretty expensive to go to cons, but if you get an opportunity to go and you can buddy up with someone and find a hotel room or something, do it. It's George convinced me to go last year, and I can't see myself not going to cons for the rest of my life. I'm going to be 70, and someone will have to literally push me in a wheelchair, and I'll be going to cons, man. Like, if I'm still around by then, hopefully. God willing.
Can I just say that, like, the tickets on the actual Con of Thrones website were way more expensive than if you just searched for like some tickets somewhere. Because my friends got like their tickets for like 30 and like $40. Like it was like 80 per day on the website. Yeah.
Yeah. They actually I was doing a panel and they gave me a day pass, and I'm like, what the fuck do I need a day pass for? Sorry for swearing. But like I was like, I already have a weekend pass. This isn't going to work. And they sent me back and they said, well, that code that we gave you is good for $87 of anything that you want. So guess who got a fixture with Gendry for free?
Oh, wow.
It was cool.
Dope. That's dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
J.R. Rowley is still wearing his pass. He's just told us in the chat. You mean this one?
I'm wearing, it's called Swarp. It's something, it means to party responsibly. Smokahontas gave this to me. It's a beautiful rainbow thing. I can't speak. Sorry, guys. Lucifer means Lightbringer's taking over the panel officially.
Yep. So let me ask an informative question. What is one thing that everyone learned while watching someone else's panel, or I guess maybe just talking to somebody else, but something that you as a presenter had a moment where, oh, I just learned something? Gemma.
Oh, shit. I knew you were going to come to me on that one.
Well, it should be easy. You were on several panels with me. I mean, come on.
I was. I can't think of a specific example, but Joe the Magician blew me away. He was so knowledgeable, and his points were very succinct, So he impressed me a lot. I've not had any communication with him before. I don't know him, so I was a bit nervous. And he's in the chat. That is crazy. Hi, Joe.
That's cool.
Joe just pops up out of nowhere as we're speaking of him.
Yeah. And yeah, he kind of blew me away a bit. I was really impressed, and because when you're going on all the other panels, I knew exactly who I was going on with, so I was kind of a bit like, I don't know how this dynamic's going to work, and we all just fell into it, didn't we?
And so Gemma's talking. Yeah, she's talking about the "What Makes George R. R. Martin Great" panel.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that an idea that I pitched to Sue, because I'm just all about talking about sort of the meta writing techniques and next level stuff that sort of sets George apart. And since I think so many in the fandom are aspiring writers, I think there's a lot of interest in sort of breaking down some of that stuff and figuring out why it is that we like George and why it is that George sort of ruins us for a lot of other books. That's one of the things we talked about at the panel. So yeah, I picked you and Joe Magician for that panel, knowing that you guys both had that sort of insight and would have specific sort of well expressed ideas about what it is that George is doing to make himself a great writer. So it was magic for me to sort of sit back and watch the two of you guys whip out the brilliance. And yeah, that was one of my favorite moments too. I learned from both you guys. So who wants to go next with that question?
I'll go.
Well, somebody just commented and put, I was jumping in the Jon Snow panel. I literally jumped into the Jon Snow panel.
That's right. Zach joined us for that panel.
You guys for having me for that. What?
Zach was awesome on that panel too. Like, it was awesome because we were talking about his favorite character and some of our, I mean, Zach and Zach, like,
he's actually not my favorite character. He's not, let that go as record. He's not my favorite character.
This is outrageous. Who is your favorite character?
Sandor?
It's Tyrion Lannister.
Interesting.
Tyrion Lannister is my favorite character.
I'm sorry for
without
assuming.
Without that mouth, like, there's no way he would be alive. There's no way. But, like, no, having me on that panel was really interesting because, like, Gemma's, like, highlighting things and telling me what to say. I'm just like, I'm good, I got this. Like,
he really did as well. I mean, you stepped up to that. You know, I don't mean to be patronizing, but I was really quite impressed with your knowledge of this guy. You know, you know your stuff. And I think it was LML who said earlier on, you know, you didn't know, and then you kind of embraced it and you stepped into that. And yeah, he really knows his stuff. He could certainly hold his own in the panel.
By the way, thank you, John, for that donation quickly. Yeah, Zach really killed it. It was cool. And, you know, like I said, like that was the cool thing about the last day, like Zach coming on with us. And then, you know, LML coming on our panel. George had to handle a few things. George, I hope you're still alive. We love you wherever you are. I think he's driving the Millennium Falcon in outer space. But that's the kind of cool thing that you get to do too, and that's the best thing about the community is people, like, you're willing to accept these things, and like you know Zach is obviously part of our community and our Hype and Love family for sure. But
well, I actually want to go on record too. I was actually really kind of introverted with all of this prior to Con of Thrones, and going into Con of Thrones and being with you guys again really brought me out of my shell. So I've turned it on because of you, and thank you guys for having me.
Oh, dude, you don't need to thank us, man. You did this all yourself, man. You're
Well, you've given me the opportunity to come out, so thank you.
You've given the opportunity for me to come out and say that I think you're really handsome.
Oh, we already proved that with the little boat sex scenes.
Yeah. By the way, which is completely Zach's idea, impromptu. And then Ashaya, he showed up to my room at, this is literally 3 in the morning, okay, on the last day of Con of Thrones. No joke.
We'd been drinking. It was awesome.
I wish I had a blonde Daenerys wig. I think Quinn would have played a great Daenerys Targaryen as well.
You think that I would have? Wait, what? Would have played a great Daenerys Targaryen?
You have a pretty smile. You have a pretty smile, boy.
I am Daenerys Stormborn of the blood of old Valyria, and I swear to you that those who would harm you will die screaming. No.
Somebody's been practicing.
This panel is an absolute disaster. Thank you for anyone that's watching us right now.
Dude, we actually still have 107 watching, which is damn good.
Yeah, and 7 of those are my subscribers. So thank you guys.
Yeah, some people in the chat are asking about the What Makes George Great panel. I will be putting that up on my YouTube channel tomorrow, which is Lucifer Means Lightbringer YouTube channel.
Yeah. Shout outs to some of the MVPs over the weekend. I saw Nancy say, Tony Teflon did a great job this weekend. Tony did a great job. Sam Coleman, young Hodor, he was so nice to us. He hung out with us for a little bit. LML, on the Warriors of Light panel, I've always watched David's stuff, but I was blown away. Do you guys have any MVPs of the weekend of things that you guys gonna check out?
I do. Carol Brown.
Oh, how can we forget? Carol Brown helped make the banner for our booth. She treated us to drinks and some food. She was there at the YouTube panel when we were competing against all of the actors and actresses and recruited people to come watch the YouTube panel. Like those people were heroes, right, Gemma? Like George said.
Yeah. She was awesome. At one point, I actually stopped her and said, "Do you do logistical stuff for a living? Like, do you arrange stuff as your job?" And she said, "Yeah, I do actually." So I can tell because I'm really rubbish at arranging things. So she pretty much just took over and sorted me out. I'd still be at that vegan diner right now. I wouldn't have a clue how to get home. She just sorted me right out, which was great.
She helped out with so much. You guys don't even know how much she did behind the scenes. So Carol, permanent spot on the wall of hype for you. Con Snow, what about you? MVP of the weekend?
MVP of the weekend would have to be. There's just so many, so many people. Come back to me on that one because God, there was a lot of people that were very, very great to hang out with and see. One, to see again, and two, that came forward, and it was like nice to talk with them and stuff. It was great.
David, you said Joe Magician was one of them for you. What else?
Yep, yeah. The other one would be my wife, the Amethyst Koala, who followed me around all weekend, videotaped all my panels, picked up the camera bag that I was trying really hard to lose and leave behind like 3 different times. She cosplayed the Amethyst Empress on Saturday, looked amazing, and supported me the whole time. And I felt like I couldn't have done it without her, so got to give her a big shout out. And if you saw her on Saturday, you saw that she looked amazing. So,
George is one of my MVPs. If he's still there, you guys don't know how much he does for me behind the scenes. If it wasn't for George last year, I never would have went to Conthrones, and we'd never probably be here right now. So, George, who's on the panel with us right now, I hope he's alive. He's probably doing all right. Also, Smokahontas. She was awesome. She pretty much made my weekend. Quinn, for you.
Yes. MVP? I don't know, man. I can't pick. Everyone was fantastic. It was
everyone. Like seriously, I can't pick a favorite. There was just everyone was just so nice and so helpful and so interesting. There wasn't anybody that wasn't interesting. I was like, hey, bye. Later.
I will say,
it wasn't any of that.
That it was great meeting LML because like we do streams a lot. He's on my channel a lot, and was great. Like to really have a chat with you and just sit face to face and have a conversation. That was really nice.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here.
And Gemma, is she still alive, or I think she went to pee. I think she had a lot of vodka tonight.
Oh, you fucking just outed her, man. That was cold.
Yeah, guys, maybe we should. We've been streaming for quite a bit now. I know you guys. Do you guys still have some time left? How much time do we think we have left on here in the panel?
I probably should get going now, actually, because we gotta go cook some steaks. So
before you go, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Ideas of Ice and Fire.
Happy birthday to you. Wow, that was really bad, but we love you, Quinn.
I'm crying.
Crying from not having enough steak? Or
I need steak.
We love you, man. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. Where can people find you on Twitter and YouTube?
They've been sharing the links all throughout the chat. They've been so good at sharing these links. So shout out to everyone in the chat that's been doing that.
Yeah, but I'm being selfish. I want to hear his illustrious voice again. Gemma.
Okay. Well, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Ideas of Ice and Fire. If you don't know me, I do theories. I speculate on the Song of Ice and Fire books. And I also talk about Dune, which is the greatest science fiction series ever written. If you haven't read it, then you can look at my videos. And I talk about a bunch of other fantasy and sci-fi books. So check me out. Thanks, everyone, for having me on. It's been really good. Oh, she has the copy of Dune. The Sleeper has awakened.
Oh, shit. Yes. Thanks for coming, Quinn. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's been great. So I'm going to get running. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Now you're kind of left with the stragglers, as I like to say. Those of us who will get in the mud and party till the wee hours. I see David having a big smile there, and I see no, I can't even look at you guys still laughing. But where shall we take this conversation with the next 10 to 15 minutes that we have before we end it?
Well, I did see someone.
I want to give a shout out to the.
Go ahead, George. George hasn't
I want to give a shout out. Yeah. The hotel. You know, last year we were in Nashville, and that just seemed like a giant catacomb labyrinth of mess, like just all over the place. But this year,
once the organization, the end of it, it was like there's condos.
The organization was great, and the hotel staff went out of their way to just do little things. Like there was a map of Westeros on the floor. They rebranded stuff in like the cafe and the bar and the restaurant. They just did a lot of little things that were really nice.
They didn't come out on the smoke patio and disrupt us.
No, nice. Exactly. But you know, the one disappointing thing is that being in Dallas is just, I think, difficult for everybody to get there. So I don't know if that's where we're going to be next year. You know, I really like what they did, but I'd really rather have more people go if it was in a better location.
I got to say too, you know, I got to go write a review for them, but George, we were so taken care of. Like there wasn't one person that wouldn't say hello to you, that wouldn't help. Like, I mean, they gave us the shuttle bus for Gemma's birthday party, the hotel shuttle bus. They took us to the restaurant 15 minutes away, and they drove us there, 14 of us. So just to put that in perspective, that's pretty amazing, just for them to do that, period. But they took really good care of us. I agree, George. Any other MVPs you have, George?
As far as what? No, I'm
good. Just over the weekend.
Here's one funny thing that I'm the only person who has this problem. My name is George, so every time someone in a panel or something says, "Well, George said this," I almost just have to reply. I'm like, "No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I didn't write that. I didn't do this." And because no one ever says George Martin, they just say George like they know the guy, and it really throws me off the whole time I'm there, and I don't think anyone else realizes that.
King McKay says, "Let's be honest, my MVP is Azor Ahype. The madman run onto the stage for the send off." Yeah, so there was an end thing where people could, like, they invited someone up on the stage, and I'm like, "Fuck that, I'm getting up there," and I ran to the stage. What's that? What's that?
Yeah, you jumped up there. They had a little side like microphone, but you like jumped on stage with them, and you were like, "Yo."
I was like, "Yo, everyone, this is what I have to say." What did I even say? I just said, no, basically I spoke about, you know, how George had invited me to Con of Thrones 2017, and that, you know, the con culture, if anyone hadn't been to a convention before, is just, guys, I literally thought about Con of Thrones every single day, Con of Thrones 2017, every single day until Con of Thrones 2018, just because of the connections you make. Like, you know, George is my best friend. I only got to see him. You know, I got to see him at Dragon Con and Con of Thrones. So it's hard. It's hard when you like, I live in Canada and you guys live in the US, or Gemma lives in the UK. You can't be with those people all the time. So when you get to do that for 4 or 5 days, it's just like, it's unexplainable. And I know it sounds really sappy, but it really is the best thing in the world. It truly is. So that's my MVP. And Smokahontas, I said that for
Hey, Stephen Stark.
Steven Stark is in the chat. He's awesome as well. I can't get enough. I can't get enough of your beautiful beard, Steven. You're beautiful.
Yeah, that's another MVP. He rented a pavilion on Sunday night, and some of us went to a birthday party for James, Dust on the Throne, and we had like 30, 35 people out there in the park hanging out, and barbecue, smoking. It was a great time.
I'm so sorry that I missed that.
Yeah, it was
so
good.
Sorry.
We had so many things that we didn't do too, like that were just like not enough time, you know. But hanging out with each other was kind of like the first priority.
Stephen Stark was. Though I met a lot of people. You were the guy that was dressed as Lyanna Stark, right?
Yes.
British. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, with the beard and the roses.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was my boy Steven, and he put up Aziz and Shire for a couple nights too. So. Just one of those guys, you know, just supporting everybody. Also, Sanrixian. I think we all know Sanrixian, talented artist in the community. She animates for Joe Magician. She's done a couple things for me, and Just another one of those.
Oh, guys, Blaze Manga. After you go, we gotta talk about Blaze Manga. Go ahead, David.
No, just we're just talking about all those people like Carol Brown that are just sort of pillars of the community that make things go, and you know, those are kind of the MVPs I think that we're all talking about, thinking of.
You know, we ended up having a booth. We sold some T-shirts and some art in Blaze Manga. If anybody hasn't checked out their art, like they should be famous. Like the guys, their art is like amazing, and they were just they might be the nicest guys I know. You know, I mean, I love George, but but you know, Blaze Man, those guys are the sweetest, nicest guys you will ever meet. Like just like dust on the throne, like nice salt of the earth people. And they were so helpful this weekend. Really, really excited that they got to come up from Houston, and they were super helpful. They chilled at the booth while we were doing panels and stuff. Like we were running around, and they held that shit down. So. Simon and Pedro, I love you guys.
People are asking about the next Con of Thrones. The location has not been announced yet, but you can follow Con of Thrones on Twitter, I know, and probably everywhere else on social media. So just gotta wait and find out.
And
Watchers on the wall will do something as well.
Sorry, say that again, Zach?
I said Watchers on the Wall will do something as well with announcing where Con of Thrones.
Well, my interpretation of it is that they're waiting to find out when season 8 will be announced. I mean, they're waiting to see when it's announced. So it might be a shorter period for planning and doing all that. But apparently it's going to be right after season 8, like right after season 8, like a couple weeks, maybe a week or two after season 8 or during the season. I think it might be a better idea to do it after so they can get the actors and some of the bigger name actors. The NDA agreements and stuff like that are pretty harsh. You know, I mean, I talked with Joe Dempsey over the weekend, and we kind of chatted a little bit, but I can't always say something we talked about. You know what I mean? Like, he has to be really careful. Yeah. Like, even just small little smidges, like, they have to be super careful about stuff. Otherwise, they can literally get, like, sued and fined.
Yeah. HBO doesn't screw around.
LML with his beautiful beard in the background. I'm jealous. I'm trying to grow a little bit of it back. I won't grow the Tormund beard back, but
when we got to talk with Paula Fairfield this year, there were just a couple more questions I was hoping we could ask her to get an idea of, like, you know, how long the shows were going to be next time or next season, and then also the other thing I was hoping for was to get an idea of how, you know, how when the series was going to be coming out. And from what I could tell, she was saying that she's probably not even going to get the video or get her materials until November of next year or this year. So I don't know. I mean,
she said 3-4 months for her work period, right, George?
Yeah, something like that.
She said like 90 days to 100 days for her work period.
Last year they were working right up through the end of the season.
So we might actually be getting Game of Thrones later than we expect, right? I mean, they're filming all the way until the end of July.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy, guys. So I know a lot of people are really excited to see Game of Thrones season 8. I'm as excited as any of you guys, and I know we're all waiting in anticipation, you know, for the next book and the next season. That's kind of the thing we're waiting. We're kind of in this spot where we don't know what to expect, right? So. But this has been really fun, guys. But I think, you know, let's give it 2 or 3 minutes each, kind of our final overall thoughts about Con of Thrones 2018, and then let's thank. Oh, my phone's going off. Sorry about that, everyone. And let's kind of thank everyone in the chat. Who wants to go first? Gemma, I see you smiling. You're going first. I'm picking on you.
I'm going first. Okay. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody that donated to the GoFundMe. Really, really helped get me on my way there. Just the support and the love that we get all the time from you guys. You know, you share our stuff on Twitter and Facebook. You're always commenting and liking. You know that it's quite overwhelming, but, you know, obviously the guys that were actually there this year, I mean, I've chatted with LML, obviously Kyle and George, and I know all you guys. So it was really bizarre to kind of see that you were kind of like real life people, which was quite strange, but it just slotted into place so easily, you know, considering these are the people that you have only just met for the first time, really. But we all just knew each other, and it was great. It was an absolutely fabulous weekend. I loved every part of it. I couldn't think of a possible single moment. It was all just awesome. I'm drunk. You might want to move on.
Not removing that. George Sartiano, my best friend, George. Can you talk a little bit about the weekend?
Oh, you know, the thing about when you mention con culture, it always makes me laugh because the last couple of cons we've gone to, you go into it with so many like, oh, we'll do this, we'll go over here, and we'll run over there. I'm like, dude, just cut that in half because there's no way we're going to be able to live through that, let alone get to all those things. And that's really, you know, there's so much cool stuff going on, and this is going to sound weird. It's like you'll be walking from one place to another, and you'll bump into someone or just start talking. Someone will have a cool costume or something, and you start talking to them, and you end up, you know, missing that thing you were planning on going to, but you meet some new incredible people and get a whole new experience out of it. And you really just have to roll with it that way, you know, at a con. And so at the end of it, you feel like you've done a ton of stuff. And at the same time, you feel like I missed a ton of stuff. And then you start talking with everyone like right here. And you know, someone went to this panel or I met this person and talked to them, and you realize that there's even more cool stuff that you missed. But you just have to take, you know, if you ever get a chance to go and take advantage of every opportunity that walks in front of you. Don't say no to something unless it's really weird. You know,
yeah, I can jump on the back of that one. That's the message I want to send to everybody is if you can go next year, definitely go because it's worth it. And it's worth it because of all the connections you make and all the friends you make and the sense of community that you have. It's worth it because the panels in themselves are entertaining. It's worth it because funny things happen, like Quinn trying to put pizza in a safe in the closet, thinking it's the microwave. You know, I mean,
I was joking. I was joking with Angie about like, I'm like, oh look, they gave us a microwave in the closet. And I'm totally like we were laughing about it. We're like, no one, and then someone really did it. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, just come if you can. It was worth it. Everyone that went is obviously real fired up about it, and for me myself, it was really fun to present in front of people and see their reaction and sort of feed off of that energy from the crowd. It was way more fun than anything I've done before, so I loved it, and I'll be trying to go back to as many cons as I can. And I know I'll just close by saying I'm putting up a lot of footage from the con at Lucifer Means Lightbringer YouTube channel. I've got like maybe 6 different ones that I've recorded the whole thing for, and I know Kyle's putting a whole bunch on the Azor Ahype channel, so we're going to keep putting stuff up for you guys to watch if you didn't get to go. So, yeah, there it is.
And I'd like to piggyback back off LML. You know, obviously he jumped on our panels impromptu when George couldn't be there, but we had a panel with him, and I've never heard anyone speak so like LML didn't even make a single error when he spoke. Like he is so on fucking point that he didn't make a single mistake. I remember, by the way, even though we were tired and drunk and whatever. But
we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Sounds good.
We'll go with that. And of course, thank you for coming on, LML. Always a pleasure. And Zach, that's the man. I know you had a blast. You were chilling with us every night.
Really cool. Yeah, it was really cool to meet a bunch of people that would come up to me and they were like, "I should have grabbed a picture of you last year. I thought you were intimidating, but I'm here to take a picture." I'm like, "Yeah, just hang out with me." Like I don't smell or anything. Like I don't want to be weird, but like, no, come hang out with me, come take a picture. Like it's just all in good fun, and it was just really cool to break the ice with a bunch of strangers and take a bunch of pictures and have a good time. And even with you guys, like you guys took that extra step that were like, come hang out with us. And then, dude, even on Thursday night, you found me, you're like, dude, come up to my suite. I was like, all right. And then we get wasted, and you're like, it's only Thursday night. And I'm like, yeah, it's Thursday night. That was Thursday.
Me and Gemma had been cooking in the heat since Thursday after she got off the plane, you know. Like Gemma's like, I'm melting, and I'm like, you're a ginger, and then I'm a ginger, and then Gemma was in bed by 10 p.m. that night. And funny enough, funny story. I ended up staying out and meeting this couple from New York. Heard me talking about Avengers: Infinity War. I stayed out till 2 a.m. Actually fell through the doorway after getting back into I tripped over my own shoes. Yeah, not my proudest moment. But Gemma then woke me up at 6 a.m. with DMX and Metallica. Or was it Iron Maiden? I don't know.
It was Tenacious D and DMX.
Whatever. DMX.
That was it.
Wow. That's like peak obnoxious right there.
But I don't think I'm out of line when I say I think that, obviously we all enjoyed being on panels and doing content. But I think that all the MVPs of our weekend was chilling out with the JR Rallies, the Smokeahontises, the Nancy T, Carol Browns. That is and that's why
Can I just put this out there as well, because JR is in the chat, and obviously you guys in the chat, you've never seen JR, but he is smoking hot. He is really good looking. Just wanted to put that out there.
What are those? What do you do in high school?
Getting thirsty, a little thirsty out there.
No, thirsty. I'm trying to do my best constant. Thirsty, my lord. But I think I speak for all of us. Obviously, like we said, everything goes by really fast, and but thank you to everyone, obviously, who supported us. You guys went above and beyond our expectations, way, way beyond. Of course, we got some more footage to throw down for you guys, some more interviews and stuff like that. But we, the people that we did meet, we love you guys. We hope that you're coming next year. And for everyone that's watching, if you're considering going, what's being said in chat? Is there something funny?
J.R. Rowley's blushing, I think.
Boy, you got a pretty mouth. This video is going to be taken down probably, but seriously though, if anyone is considering going, I really, really do mean it. Like, I know it can be difficult getting flights and funds and stuff like that. King McKay came up all the way from New Zealand. I saw him at 3 a.m. checking into the hotel when I was heading back up to the room. One night, I was just like so happy to see him, and that's kind of the thing you get all weekend. It's like you see someone, like I saw David. I'm like, man, it's so cool to see you in person. Like, it's cool to chat over live chat and stuff like this, but there's really no way to explain it other than when you're with someone and you feel that and how amazing it is. So I encourage anyone that's considering it next year to go. Next year, I heard they're going to be doing absolutely crazy big and better things next year. But from the bottom of all our hearts, we got patrons, subscribers, whether you liked the video, whether you watched the video and didn't comment, whether you shared it on Twitter, whether you mentioned it to a friend. We appreciate every single thing you've done for us leading up to the con and after. And we really, really, really appreciate all of your support. So thank you everyone for coming to hang out with us, and we love you guys. So should we do a collective hype and love before we go out on the 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Hype and love.